Good evening, everyone. My name is afternoon. My name is Dennis Miller. That's my wife, Melinda. We've been in business for over 20 plus years. I've been practicing real estate for about 23 years. So I'm going to come today and just give you a little information about the market, what's going on in the market, and what you need to do to be relevant in the market. The market is changing, and you got to change. If you don't change, you're going to get left behind as realtors, as investors also. So I want to know, let me ask a question. How do y'all think the market is now? What's going on in the economy? Can anybody tell me? Okay. Somebody else? How's the economy now? What are people saying? What are y'all feeling? Inflation? Okay. What else? Great. That's a great one. Oh, wow. You've been doing some studying. Oh, you've been looking at some stuff. All those are great questions. And first, I would just want to say thank you to all the investors that are here. And if you're thinking about being an investor, because the home ownership is so far out of reach for first-time home buyers. So what y'all are doing, just like a house like this in the 330 price range, remodeled, came in and did everything, you're making affordability for someone else to afford this home, because they can't go out and purchase a new home at 330. So what y'all are doing is great things. So as an investor, you have to pat yourself on the back, and when you feel like giving up, just let you know you're doing something special in the market. You're helping people. So when you have that in your heart, you don't have to worry about how much money I'm gonna make, because when you do good, good comes back to you. So thank you for all the investors that are in here doing the hard work. And the other thing with the jobs, the market came out, that the report came out in June. It was showing that, okay, we had a high rate of jobs come out, but how they judge the jobs about each quarter. So in April and May, they had to adjust because the numbers were down. So now what we're seeing is the unemployment rate went up. So what's happening? People are losing jobs. People are panicking. People want to sell their homes now. The market is flooding with homes. But one thing what we have to do as investors, we have to price the property properly. So how do you price properties? An investor, how do you price a property in this market? Where do you get the information from? Okay, where's that information come from? Okay. Where's it? Yeah, just an average property. You're pricing the property now in this today's market. Okay, anybody else? You cannot go off the data now. You have to dig a little deeper and deeper. So you got to get with someone who studies the market, know what's happening in the market, because those numbers are not real numbers anymore. They're not real numbers. So what agents are doing, because the market is so tight and a lot of things are going on with the agents, they're actually buying listings. They're not telling the sellers the real information, what's going on with the market. Mr. Seller, this is really not the real price. We need to be priced here. But the seller said, I want to be priced up here. So what happens to that when it goes into MLS? It shows that a range nationwide, all home sales prices are up. But as agents, what we're seeing is there's a gap between the offering price and the actual price on the market. So that means in my head telling me that there are overpriced listings. Just in June alone, there was more price reductions done in June than the whole 2022. Now, as professionals, we gotta do the job right. And if you're gonna win, if you wanna be at the front of the line, and just imagine this, if you was at a movie theater, you had a bunch of investors who had properties for sale, and somebody say, hey, I'll let you cut the line. Would you go in front, or do you wanna wait in line? Okay, we gotta cut the prices. We know the information. We got to be ahead of the market. We got to be ahead of the market. So investors, whatever numbers or value that you're trying to get, if you're trying to say get $50,000 or $70,000, let's break it down a little bit for a short time to get over this hump. Because if you don't, you're going to be stuck and you're going to get expired. We haven't seen expires for a long time. Expires are back. And what happens? The seller has to drop the price. Be honest with the seller when you go in, professionals, and even investors. Make it easy. Learn how to work with each other. And that's how we're going to win. Even the realtor, even if you have 20 plus years, a realtor has 5. You don't have to go in and just say, hey, I know more than that realtor. Figure out how to work with that realtor. Work with the buyer and the seller. It's not a fight to see that I can make the buyer win or the seller get more money. Come together as one and make the deal work. And have that conversation with your buyer, even when you're pricing listings. Know what's going on in the area with your investor or your seller. If you see there's a trend where people are asking for closing costs, have that conversation with the seller. Say, hey, I see a trend in the area. People are asking for closing costs. I'm not saying you have to do that, but I want you to be aware of that. Because time kills deals, and buyers are so savvy now. They're studying. So if you're an investor or a professional and you're not studying the market, you're behind. And what these buyers are doing is they're saying, okay, I've been listening to all this information. The seller has the house priced here. We're going to wait them out. We're going to wait them out because they're educated. They know when the downturn is coming. They know the seller's going to have to drop the price. There's so much social media, so much places to get information, and you're going to be stuck with a house on the market. 7 months to 8 months ago, from the time a realtor met a buyer, they would go into contract within 30 days. Now it's 60 to 90 days. That's affecting the market. But as investors, you don't have to get nervous because knowledge puts you ahead of everybody. So what you're doing today is a great thing, but you just got to study the market. You got to change some things, and you're going to be okay. But if you don't change, you will get left behind. Now I want to take some time for some questions. Anybody have any questions? Somebody got some questions. I ain't leaving until I get 3 questions. Okay. One more? Another question? One more question, then we're going to shut it down. Somebody got to have some questions. Y'all text and tell me now. Ask some questions. Come on. two more things and then I'm gonna stop. I just thought of. The first thing is when you are doing your numbers in the area, a lot of investors, you sometimes see homes that, like on an average, you see 3 or 4 homes to 5 homes all sold at one price, and then you see one house had a peak price. You price it with the average. But the average investor is looking at, I'm trying to get the most money, but there's something why that home sold at that price. And I had one client was doing that, but then went back and researched because they went and did all new plumbing, they did all new electrical, they did all new everything. So that house was able to peak higher because all they wanted to do was paint the walls and put floors in. So make sure that when you see that something happened, when you got 5 homes sold at a certain price, $330, and then one home sold at $375, something happened. And then one other thing too, buyers are picky now. They are buying homes, but even if the interest rate is high, they're saying, I will buy that house if it has everything that I want with the upgrade. So when you're doing your finish out, maybe put another $5,000 in it or something, 3 or 4, 5,000 to go ahead and make that house appealing to be in the market with everybody else.